today it's 3.13 advantages and disadvantages of wireless networks. So quick recap of wireless networks. The interconnected set of computers and nodes that are connected without any physical cable or connection. This is done through electromagnetic waves, usually radio microwaves. The different medium that can be used are satellites, infrared, RFID, Bluetooth, free space optics. So these are just like recap of wireless networks, but I think most of us already know what it is. So what are the advantages? It's cheaper because installing cables and network hardware can be expensive and difficult. Wi-Fi often is much less expensive, especially if only temporary connections are required. It's more flexible and mobile as well, as it's more convenient because it allows users to physically move around and change/add connections. So people can switch easily from network to network. It's also required for some devices such as phone and tablets because you can't really have wide connections and work with it still. So Wi-Fi allows us to develop smaller sized devices. This is also true for like other devices like IoT, like Internet of Things, which are really small devices like sensors. You can't really have that with wide connections, so it's not as effective. And then you have global standards that are used worldwide. Disadvantages. So as the image shows as well, this often happens if you remember in Zoom calls or where it often has relatively lower speeds than physically cabled networks. This is because of protocols as well as it's affected by other factors, including interference, from weather, distance, signal strength. All these factors can affect actually how good the Wi-Fi quality is. There's limited range. Usually it's within 30 feet. It depends, if you have repeaters or not, but it's limited. It's less secure than wide connections. However, there have been recent improvements. So WEP is the wide equivalent privacy protocol, and then there's WA2. And this WA2 is the new one, as well. It was introduced in 2004, and it's a more advanced one. And it's actually really secure compared to WEP. Also, the disadvantage is that there are older devices, so legacy systems cannot connect to it, and there are also health concerns due to radiation. Now, coming on to the case study thing with World Health Organization. So describing how they have led to significant changes in working patterns, as well as how they affect social activities. So wireless networks have been very useful in allowing remote working and learning, where individuals can work over large distances and on the move. Wi-Fi allows more communication between devices and individuals, lending itself to the rise of social media and instant messaging, as well as leading to more instantaneous processing. However, this means that many spend excessive time on the devices and meet less frequently in person. For example, Musa is a pro gamer who plays Minecraft constantly with his online friends. Described health concerns are related to the extensive use of wireless networks. Short-term impacts. Whilst Wi-Fi has no direct short-term impact, the excessive use of phones and screens can cause eye strain, fatigue, and issues with paying attention. For younger children over an extended period of time, this can be compounded and impact the development. So that's why you shouldn't, be on your phones or any devices for extensive periods of time. There's also the long-term impact. So this is actually as per WHO, as World Health Organization. They recommend further research into long-term negative impacts of cellular phone usage. So there was actually a 2014 report which said that while increased risk of brain tumors is not established, the increasing use of mobile phones and the lack of data for mobile phone use over time periods longer than 15 years warrant further research of mobile phones use and brain cancer risk. So there's still up to debate whether there's any link between brain cancer and phone usage. Even it's probably low, but still, as per the report, there is a chance, and that's why they're further researching it. Okay, it's fine. Exam questions. Who wants to answer? Let's go, Tony.
Router.
Nice. Okay, Mo, part B.
Less security.
Okay, that's good. What do you mean by less security? Like when you have to outline, it's probably going to be 4-mark question. It's 2-2.
There will be less security because other devices can enter the network.
Do you have any other disadvantages? Think about the whole list of disadvantages I provided.
Since it's WLAN, there's a decrease in transfer rate.
Yeah, exactly. It's slower.
It's wireless.
It's wireless compared to wire transit. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice. So as you said, router. That's correct. Then data transfer will decrease because the number of computers using the network increases. There's less data security, and you have to say, as you said, other devices can intercept it. Often there's also other words like more easily open to misuse, and there's intermittent connectivity due to physical barriers. What it means is, if you have walls and everything, that it can lead to lower transfer speeds. So what I was talking about earlier, interference. Okay, another exam question. So this is like the, sometimes you have part B, you have like a bit of a case study as well as the actual question. So who wants to answer this? Usaid, Mia. Come on, Usaid.
Wireless line, you don't need wires.
Yeah. So what is, like it's cheaper, that's why, yeah?
Yeah, it's also a bit cheaper.
And what's the other advantage?
It's also scalable. You can actually make it a lot bigger.
Okay.
Wires.
I think for the first one you'll get marked scalable. I'm not sure. You probably won't get it. But what you should have said for mobility, you can use it on the move. It's more versatile. It allows bring your own devices, which is actually really useful as well. Because people can just bring their own devices. There's no extra equipment is needed for expansion. So it is, with scalable it is, but I think you have to probably actually, because in any formal question, you have to actually develop your answers as well as reduces wiring, like you said, therefore improves safety, improved cost, lower cost. So yeah. And Kahoot.